Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Age of Wonders.
At first, this game may look really complex. It is filled with tens or even hundreds of various tiny statistics, resources, skills, traits, and so on, and that can be really overwhelming. But when I played it, I remember the golden rule of any game. Just play it as you can and learn along the way. And you know, it worked. It's actually not that complex, and explanations here are great. Also, a very cool thing here is that immediately after you launch the game, you are provided with the opportunity to create your own faction. Here you can create cannibal moles or necromancer frogs, orcs of light, or anything you can imagine, and officially name them as well. To be short, you can break stereotypes as you like. The combat, of course, is the most fun and most interesting thing in the game. Age of Wonders 4 has an incredible amount of different units made with this cool faction creation tool, from fire gremlins to holy moles with wings and nimbuses. Yeah, holy moly is actually here. Battle arenas are gorgeous as well. The design is really pretty and eye-catching. Most of them are filled with some shining details that create this magical atmosphere in which many things die. This is a great game, especially if you like the previous parts or if you are a fan of Heroes of Might and Magic. 5 Nations. If StarCraft was mockingly called a Warcraft in space, then 5 Nations should be called a Warcraft in space, because it is following the same gameplay formula as Blizzard games, but everything is happening, you know, in space. But don't worry, this is not some grand strategy game or something like a homeworld where the distances are huge and everything is happening super slow. No, in 5 Nations the background is space, but all the action is the same as an old good base builder RTSs. The game gets little attention because it's an indie game and they have no money to make a huge advertising campaigns. I found it just because I was especially looking for games like StarCraft, and it still took me an hour to get to this game. But now it may become a bit more popular because other YouTubers tend to copy my lists. Great thing is that you can play the demo version on Steam absolutely free and check it out with your own eyes. Although it's not easy to see where to download it. Look in the right column above information about languages and you will see the download button. 5 Nations managed to stay true to old school gameplay, voiceovers, and even writing style, and that is great. CryoFall. This is a sci-fi colony simulation survival game set on a forgotten planet in a distant future. You will join the world together with other survivors to rebuild your civilization from scratch. Start with primitive technology and simple tools, and use them to progress towards modern industrial might and even beyond, eventually reaching space-age technology only seen in science fiction. So it's a science fiction game where you seek to achieve some science fiction. CryoFall can be played either as a relaxed player versus environment experience with no competition, or as a brutal and unforgiving PvP. Make your choice and join one of the many available servers with different game modes, or host your own and invite your friends to join you. However, it's important to keep in mind that CryoFall is not for the faint of heart. The unforgiving environment can be brutal, and you might find yourself in situations where even a tardigrade would be jealous of your survival skills. Golf Club Nostalgia. Here the rich fled to Mars, but sometimes they venture back to a desolate Earth for a round of golf. Each hole in the wasteland offers its own little story and possible puzzle to sink the perfect shot. You will play through destroyed brutalist monuments, crumbling shopping malls, and abandoned museums with neon signs. The game has a great soundtrack as well as personal stories broadcasted on Radio Nostalgia from Mars. The station caters to citizens of Mars as they dial in to share their memories of Earth. A smooth-voiced radio DJ keeps the show flowing with updates and announcements, hinting at a not-so-glamorous life on Mars. This is a unique and beautiful game really worthy of your attention. Syberia: The World Before. The game consists of 2 parts. In the first one, you will play as a girl who is beginning a brilliant career as a pianist. However, shadows begin to appear over her future at the dawn of the Second World War, and the next part of the story will take action to a year of 2004, where you will play as the girl imprisoned in the salt mine. A tragic event propels her into a new adventure in search of her identity. So you'll play in both timelines and explore a fantastic and poetic world with its amazing sceneries. One thing I can say for sure, this game is beautiful. Of course, not as beautiful as you, my friend, but still looking very good. The art direction is at the top level, and it alone should spike your interest in this adventure game with a great story, especially if you like to solve some complicated puzzles and not crack hardest riddles. Oh yeah, sadly the game is not for the weak, it will squeeze your brain power quite well, and all that is accompanied with a symphonic soundtrack composed by Einon Zur. You probably know his tracks from Syberia 3, Fallout, Dragon Age, and Prince of Persia. Also on Steam you can try the free demo version. DREDGE. Dredge is not just a fishing game, it's a fishing game with a twist. After dark it becomes a Lovecraftian fishing game. The world around you is teeming with creatures from the void, and when the night sets in, our worlds collide and cosmic horrors enter our realm. Not as scary as your ex-mother-in-law, but still terrifying things. So ideally you want to return to a harbor before the night sets in, so you won't become a dinner for some malevolent demigod of the depths. You can also dock in some safe location and sleep during the night. Of course, it is easier said than done, because the game uses a very cool time management mechanic. If you do nothing, time doesn't move. Like for real, if you just swing on the waves and admire the horizon, you can stay like this forever. But when you start sailing, the timer starts ticking, and at 6 PM Lovecraftian madness starts to settle in. This is a wonderful and honestly kinda relaxing game. Well, except when you go into mangroves. Oh, it's not relaxing at all. Anyway, the game is absolutely 10 cold beers out of 10. A must play. Rise of Nations Extended Edition. You can choose from 18 different civilizations and guide them through 8 different stages of world's history. People on Steam comments are saying that this is a masterpiece, best game ever, greatest RTS in the world, blah blah and so on. But all those people are about 40 years old and they have nostalgia, because they played the original release some 20 years ago. Well, I'm among those people, so my opinion is biased as well. Although back then I hated that automatic spawning of workers who automatically looked for a task to perform. I think this is a terrible idea because it is neglecting the micromanagement part of the game. What's next? Maybe warriors can spawn too and buildings can be built by themselves. Why do you even need a player when you can just sit and watch the game playing itself, right? It's almost the same if you watch some guy eating your own potato salad instead of eating it yourself. Anyway, Rise of Nations is a great title, I do recommend it without a doubt. Because I'm old. Narita Boy. This is a retro-futuristic game where you are Narita Boy, a legendary digital hero in an epic quest of simultaneous dimensions. The digital kingdom is under attack and you are the last hope of survival, so you will have to explore a vast world to find a techno sword, the only effective weapon against the enemy. That sounds nuts and also really cool. People on Steam are saying that Narita Boy has great music and huge variety of monsters and vehicles. You can even ride a floppy disk. How cool is that?
Not as cool as riding your sister.
Oh, come on, don't say that. Although the least favorite part for almost everyone is platforming. Most of the players agree that dying by just jumping is way more common than dying from some monster, and that irritates a lot of people. Also, the story sounds cooler than it actually is. But in general, the game is a proud owner of a very positive review score, and that is always a good sign. Unbound Worlds Apart. This is a challenging, atmospheric and hand-drawn puzzle platformer set in a universe where all worlds are connected by portals. You control a gifted young mage who has the power to open portals and control the unique properties of each world, such as inverse gravity, time manipulation, super strength and more. Using these skills you must journey across dangerous worlds, each brimming with secrets and unique challenges. You must use every skill to defeat a ruthless evil that is tearing reality apart, while learning the shocking truth beyond your world's collapse. Spoilers, it was a lack of potato salad. I'm kidding, of course.
Or am I?
Dead Island Definitive Edition. The same developers who made Dying Light created this zombie-infested game as well, and this zombie apocalypse is more beautiful than ever. You will be running from and killing undead in the beautiful tropical island, a wonderful paradise on Earth, and this contrast is really great. Exploring this island is really fun, from the zombie-infested deserted city to secluded beaches and vast highlands. Roam around in order to discover the story behind the zombie outbreak. You can also play in a story-based 4-player co-op mode. Anyway, in Dead Island Definitive Edition you will get the main game and all the DLCs as well. Also graphics are in HD and so on, and the price is more than great.
You're probably wondering how I did this. Well, it's very easy when I show you from this side. Now, thank you for watching, have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Bye.